Yo, what's good? It's Tony, and I am back for another video. And in this one, I want to break down my time in Ybor City, specifically in the central Ybor historic district area. So let's get into that. So one of my favorite things about the historic district in Ybor is the overall architecture and how well preserved it is. It's a lot of cobblestone and brick and just very well preserved, I would say. And I really love that aspect of it because the architecture lends itself to the contrast of lights and shadows and the way they interact with each other. And when a subject comes into the right composition, right into that frame, the way that I like, it just really plays well together. And I really love the way that the photos look. And also the central Ybor streetcar station, I really love that area because it has these two overpass bridges that I really love, in the way that I am able to play around with that area and kind of just work different compositions and different framings using subframes and the way that the light hits on specific times of the day. I really love the way that that looks. And depending on the time of day, obviously you get a different quality of light and the type of people that are in the area. So sometimes they can be a little bit busier than others depending on the day. Obviously, it's not really one of the busier places during the work week. However, during the weekends, you definitely get some interesting characters that come into play and really help tell the story and just kind of give a little more variety in the type of people that you can essentially get in your shots. So without further ado, we're going to get into the video and break down some of the locations and the compositions and share some of my images with you all. So let's get into it. So this is one of my favorite locations in the central Ybor area. It's a lot to play with the bridges and the colors and the brick and the cobblestones and the way that the light interacts, especially like in the morning or like in sunset time. You really get some really dynamic lighting here. And when the subject crosses by, oh, it just really plays well together. So I really enjoyed this location. And this is what I got. So here are a few shots that I liked as I worked the scene around the streetcar station. And I really loved the way the shadows and the contrast worked in these images. I really like this black and white with the Beamer. It has a really nostalgic look and I really loved it. I love the shadows and just the contrast overall. And with this one, I really just liked getting the framing. It was like a frame within a frame because of the green poles, and then he was between the white poles. And then this one, it was just a little bit of playing with the framing. And this was about golden hour, so the light was hitting from the left on him. So I just really liked the way that one looked. Here's another location that I was really interested in. Namely, it was right behind me. There was this other building that had these blue curtains, and I thought that if I could get someone passing by or crossing the street into the light where the reflection hit, I thought it would have played really nice. It would have made for an interesting image. But I did not get anyone that walked by, so ended up not getting that shot. And this is another location that I thought was really cool because you have one side to the left that was in the shadows, and then you have the right with the alley right down the middle. And I thought that if somebody was to walk by while they were crossing, it would have been really interesting to get them like maybe in between or right on that light where the yellow is being pretty much like illuminated. So that's what I was looking for here. This was just a fun location that I thought would have looked cool. Someone might have walked by right into that black space right next to the disco pony side, and I was just waiting for somebody to walk by, but couldn't get anybody at that time, maybe in the evening. This spot, I really just liked the patterns here, and I just really wanted to get somebody who would be walking in this direction and or maybe crossing the street, but another fail here, just didn't get anybody to walk by. This was another location that I really liked, and I got a couple of shots, and I got one with the streetcar passing, but I thought that I would really get something good if I could get somebody in between these pillars. So I got a few shots, but I don't know. What do you think? This is another one where I really like the pillars, and I thought that if I can get somebody who would walk in the street, get the cobblestone like in the fork, use it as a, get like really low and get like that cobblestone to get like texture on the ground, and then have somebody just walk in the street, I thought would have been really cool here. Then again, this is the corner of that same spot, but the lighting here wasn't like all that great. Maybe like midday or in the evening during golden hour, I probably would have gotten some better light here, but definitely got to come back and get this shot. In these two images, I just really liked that there was a bike on the display, and I was able to capture some people on bikes and a motorcycle coming into the reflection on the street. So I just really liked the way that turned out. And I was just playing around with a few different reflections of individuals just kind of passing by. And then just some street shots of some individuals, you know, different characters out here that hang around. Here's just a couple images. Here, a lot of cigar shops, and you know, some interesting characters here that hang out in Tampa. In these images, I really want to play with light and shadows as people came into the light, and I was shooting them pretty much head on, but I really like the contrast in the lighting and the shadows. Here's some more street shots of those guys on the bikes. One of them stopped and asked me to take a photo, so I did. And then my favorite part about Ybor is the homes and the streetcars. I have an affinity for these things. All right, so that wrapped up my time in Ybor, and I thoroughly enjoyed the days that I was able to spend going out there. You may not be able to tell from the photos, but I did have to break it down to a couple of days of visiting during different times of the day, just for the nature of my work schedule and just like my work-life balance. You know, I can't spend all day out there, otherwise I really would, but you know, that's just not, it's not in the cards for me at the moment. So once I'm officially retired and I have more time to myself, you'll see more thorough, comprehensive time spent in a day in certain locations. But we're not there yet, so bear with me to get photos in different lighting situations and the compositions the way that I want them. So I definitely will be visiting Ybor City more, obviously. Definitely at night, because there's a lot of lights and a lot of different colors that come into action, different characters that come out at night. Along with the other areas that I will be visiting, I definitely will be shooting more video and photos at night as this project progresses and I really tackle the question of, can you street in Tampa? So far the answer is yes. Obviously there's some limitations, but that's something that can be worked around. You know, it's just a matter of changing your perspective and working through it.